Welcome to A Voice to the World. I'm your host, Simon Peter. This channel is all about bringing truth, reason, and faith to light, engaging hearts and minds across the globe. Today, we're diving into an incredible topic: scientists who were also theologians. We'll discover how some of the most brilliant minds in history not only believed in God, they saw science as a pathway to knowing Him better. Prepare to be inspired as we uncover the stories of these remarkable figures. We'll look at how their scientific discoveries were often fueled by their theological convictions, and how their understanding of God was enriched by their exploration of His creation. These are not tales of intellectual compromise, but of intellectual and spiritual coherence. So, join me as we explore the lives of these giants, whose legacies continue to illuminate the profound connection between the quest for knowledge and the journey of faith. Our journey begins with a name synonymous with scientific revolution, Sir Isaac Newton. When we think of Newton, images of falling apples, prisms refracting light, and the fundamental laws of motion and universal gravitation immediately spring to mind. His laid the groundwork for classical mechanics, fundamentally altering our understanding of the physical world, yet there's a dimension to Newton that is often overlooked: his profound engagement with theology. Newton wrote more extensively on theology, biblical interpretation, and alchemy than on physics or mathematics. He dedicated countless hours to the meticulous study of Scripture, delving deep into biblical prophecies, ancient history, and the nature of God. For Newton, there was no inherent conflict between his scientific endeavors and his theological beliefs. He saw his scientific work as a means of uncovering the intricate design and divine order embedded within the cosmos. Newton's study of the Bible was driven by a desire to understand God's plan for humanity and history. Thus, Isaac Newton stands as a towering example of how profound scientific insight can coexist with deep religious faith. Next, we turn our attention to another luminary of the 17th century, the French polymath Blaise Pascal. Pascal made significant contributions to mathematics and physics, but he was also a profound Christian philosopher and theologian. His spiritual journey was marked by intense personal experiences, most notably a mystical encounter in 1654 which he referred to as his Night of Fire. This experience transformed his perspective, leading him to dedicate much of his later life to theological reflection and writing. His most famous theological work, The Thoughts, is a collection of fragments intended for an apology for the Christian faith. One of Pascal's most enduring contributions to religious thought is Pascal's wager. Pascal posited that humans bet with their lives either that God exists or that He does not. Given the potential for infinite gain if God exists and one believes, Pascal argued that a rational person should live as though God exists. Pascal famously wrote, "The heart has its reasons which reason knows not." Blaise Pascal's life and work demonstrate a powerful synthesis of scientific genius and profound Christian conviction. Our exploration now takes us to the 19th century, to the quiet monastery gardens where Gregor Mendel, an Augustinian friar, meticulously conducted experiments that would lay the foundation for modern genetics. Mendel's work with pea plants revolutionized our understanding of heredity and the mechanisms of inheritance. His scientific pursuits were not seen as separate from his religious vows, but rather as a compatible aspect of his calling. Mendel's experiments led him to formulate the laws of segregation and independent assortment. These principles described how traits are passed from parents to offspring through discrete units, which we now call genes. The life of Gregor Mendel beautifully illustrates that deep religious faith and rigorous scientific inquiry can flourish together. His monastery garden became a laboratory where the mysteries of God's creation were patiently unraveled. Mendel's story serves as a powerful reminder that the pursuit of scientific knowledge can be a deeply spiritual endeavor. His dedication to understanding the mechanisms of heredity revealed fundamental truths about life itself. He stands as a testament to the harmonious relationship that can exist between the scientific quest for understanding and a life of spiritual commitment. Chapter 4. Georges Lemaître, the priest who proposed the Big Bang. Lemaître was a Belgian Catholic priest, physicist, and astronomer who first proposed the theory of the expansion of the universe. His work began in the 1920s, studying Albert Einstein's equations of general relativity. Lemaître derived solutions that implied an expanding universe, publishing his findings in 1927. He theorized that if the universe is expanding, it must have been smaller in the past, tracing it back to an initial primeval atom or cosmic egg. Lemaître's scientific proposal of a cosmic beginning resonated with the opening words of Genesis. However, he was careful to distinguish between his scientific theory and theological interpretations. He believed that science and theology were distinct paths to truth, each with its own methods and areas of competence. Georges Lemaître's legacy is immense, both in cosmology and in the dialogue between science and faith. He remains a powerful example of intellectual integrity and the harmonious coexistence of scientific reason and religious belief. Chapter 5. John Polkinghorne, From Quarks to the Cassock. John Polkinghorne was a distinguished British theoretical physicist who made significant contributions to the understanding of elementary particles before making a remarkable career change. In 1979, Polkinghorne resigned his professorship to study for ordination in the Anglican Church. He was ordained as an Anglican priest in 1982, integrating his scientific background with theological reflection. Polkinghorne became one of the most articulate voices in the modern dialogue between science and religion. He authored numerous books exploring the relationship between these two fields, arguing that they offer complementary perspectives on a single, unified reality. He believed that a complete understanding of existence requires acknowledging the truths revealed by both scientific investigation and religious experience. For Polkinghorne, the intricate beauty and rational structure of the universe were consistent with the concept of a creator God. John Polkinghorne's journey from a leading physicist to a priest theologian is a powerful testament to the intellectual and spiritual coherence that can be found at the intersection of science and faith. His work continues to inspire many to seek a more integrated understanding of reality. Chapter 6. Alister McGrath, From Atheism to Apologetics. Alister McGrath, a prominent theologian, intellectual historian, and Christian apologist, brings a unique perspective to the science-faith dialogue. McGrath initially pursued studies in the natural sciences, earning a doctorate in molecular biophysics from Oxford University. During his early academic years, he was a committed atheist, believing that science held all the answers. However, his engagement with the history and philosophy of science began to challenge his atheistic convictions. This intellectual quest eventually led him to embrace Christianity, reshaping his life and academic trajectory. As a theologian with a strong background in the sciences, McGrath has become a powerful voice for the rationality and coherence of Christian faith. He argues that faith is not a blind leap, but a reasoned commitment, supported by evidence and experience. McGrath emphasizes that science can describe the how of the universe, but theology and faith explore the why. His journey from atheism to becoming one of today's leading Christian thinkers is a compelling story of intellectual honesty and spiritual discovery. Chapter 7. Francis Collins, Mapping the Genome, Finding God. Dr. Francis Collins, an American physician-geneticist, led the Human Genome Project, mapping and sequencing the entire human genetic code. Raised in a nominally religious home, he became an atheist during his college years. However, his medical and scientific career led him to confront profound questions about human suffering, morality, and the meaning of life. This search eventually led him to Christianity. Dr. Collins has been open about his faith, writing and speaking extensively on how he reconciles his Christian beliefs with his scientific work. He founded the BioLogos Foundation, promoting the harmony between science and biblical faith. Collins firmly believes that science and faith are not at odds. He sees science as a reliable way of understanding the natural world, and faith as a way of understanding God himself. His leadership in a landmark scientific achievement, coupled with his articulate defense of the compatibility of science and faith, offers profound encouragement to many. Thanks for watching A Voice to the World. We've journeyed through centuries, encountering brilliant minds who saw no contradiction between their groundbreaking scientific work and their deep, abiding faith. From Newton's laws to Lemaître's cosmic dawn, from Mendel's genetics to Collins's human genome, these individuals demonstrate that the pursuit of scientific knowledge can be a pathway to, rather than a departure from, a profound understanding of the divine. Their lives challenge the simplistic narrative that science and faith are locked in perpetual conflict. The intricate order, the profound beauty, and the very intelligibility of the cosmos, which science uncovers, can be seen as echoes of a creator's voice. These scientists and theologians remind us that a holistic pursuit of truth embraces both reason and revelation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you believe faith and reason belong together. Join us next time as we continue to explore the intersections of truth, reason, and faith.